Alright, welcome back to MotoDad. Today is not a motorcycle video, but if you're like me, you do all things motor. So, here's the story. I bought on that Facebook local thing on Facebook where you can locally search around for things. I found a really good deal on a ride-on mower. But it was in really good condition, as far as I could tell. And everything worked. I saw it worked, blah blah blah. I bring it home, I try to use it once, and the mower part dies. The tractor itself is fine, the motor is fine, it runs like a dream. The mower itself died. Okay, here's the mower. Now you see it, there's a couple things that went wrong with it. This part right here, which is basically a spring-loaded brake for the pulley that drives the blades. The arm on this got sheared off. You see this? That's, it literally just got sheared off. So, I wondered how that happened. And I took it all apart and took a look at it, and I have a new one, that's a new one on there. And I realized what happened. See right here, this weld came undone, which meant this whole piece right here was being pulled up every time the mower was being engaged, which pulled the arms up against the pulleys themselves. Right here. So this bottom part of the pulley just kept grinding away. A steel pulley on an aluminum arm kept just grinding away at it, and I'm sure it didn't take long to go right through it, as you can see. They both just got sheared off. So I'm replacing those arms, and when I replaced those arms, that's when I found the weld had broken. So what I'm doing is I'm going to try to re-weld it. Weld. Oh, and the other part is, you probably can't see it. You might see it. This entire support bracket here that carries the weight of the mower itself, where it attaches to the actual main, I guess, housing or whatever this is, the bell part of this, completely rusted out. It's just a big old hole. Rusted big old hole. And you might notice I used some nylon webbing to hold it, but I realized that's stupid. And I don't want a quick fix, I want to fix it, so I got some 18 gauge steel plates, and I'm going to, is it 18 gauge? No, it's 1/8 inch, sorry. Whatever. It's 1/8 inch steel plate, and I'm going to basically weld it on as a support, and I got rust stopping paint, so I'm going to hit this with that after I get it all done to slow down at least all the rust, because it is 8 years old, and then we'll take it from there. Alright, so the area that I was going to use the cutoff wheel with was a little tight. I tried to get it in, and with the just with the nooks and crannies here, you see, like in here, just a little too tight, and I really need to prep it well. So what I did is I got my Dremel out, and that is what I'm going to use. Now, I'm wearing, obviously, eye protection and a mask because there's rust, and rust is going to get kicked up, and I don't want it to get kicked up. So. Alright, so I prepped the surface. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. Down to bare metal, got rid of most of the rust. Now I'm going to have to push this down like that to tack it in, because it's just spent so much time being pulled away since that weld broke. So I need to kind of push it back down and tack it as best I can before I weld the whole thing. Okay. So this is my first time welding. I do have the welder's beginner's kit, as a lot of people would probably refer to it as. Chicago Electric 90 amp flux core welder from Harbor Freight. It's a great self-contained little beginner welder. Now I know a lot of people who weld a lot are going to probably see this and say, I'm nuts because I should be practicing before I actually do anything that I'm going to be working on and trying to fix and everything like that. And I get that. I completely get that. I have done a lot of research, and frankly, I'm just that kind of person. I'm just going to give it a go. And if I royally screw up, then I royally screwed up, and I'll deal with it. So I got the machine all prepped up. It's ready to go. I'm going to get the settings as best I can figure, and then we're going to do this. Okay, it's weld time. Got my helmet, my self-darkening helmet. Well, that's weird. Okay, self-darkening helmet. I got welding gloves. These were actually a Christmas gift from my wife, so you know how much I wanted to do this. But jacket, full arm jacket, denim, jeans, boots, you know, proper welding attire. You know, I don't have an apron or anything like that, but again, this is a small weld. It's not going to take too long, hopefully. Now you see, I had to clean up a section of the housing here to get a good clean ground, because everywhere where there is exposed metal, there's rust. So I have paint that I'm gonna go over all the rust bits anyway. And just so you know, I have taken some extra precautions because of the fact that I know this is not an ideal welding area. I've wet some things down. I've removed some of the debris. I do have a fire extinguisher here, and as well as just a bottle of water in case some small fires break out, but I have some non-flammable material underneath, so if it catches any of the slag underneath, you know, that is where a lot of some of the old grass tends to be. So I put some non-flammable material down there, and up here I'm just going to keep an eye on everything and see how it goes. Now I made multiple passes, and I have a lot of slag, just because it's structural. It's not supposed to, like, I wouldn't trust my life on it, but like, it's just supposed to hold up the housing, part of the housing. So I think just once it holds and doesn't let go, it'll do what I need. But okay, here's my beautiful weld. Yeah, you can see it's got a lot of slag. I played around with the temperature a little bit. I was going too hot, or I was going too slow, or so I should say too low speed with the wire, but too fast with my hands. So I had to slow down the wire, or speed up the wire, and slow down my hands. And that's when I started getting better puddles and better beads. This one at the top was, even though it might not look like it, was my best effort. Down here at the bottom, or I should say, this is the top, this is the bottom, but okay, to you guys, this is the top, was my first go around. I tacked it, and then I just kind of went over it a few times, cleaning it in between. This one right here to the bottom has more of a weld-ish appearance, but that ain't going anywhere, so that's all I needed. It's welded. Now I get to do the front of it. I gotta check on the time because as a MotoDad, I need to go inside and, you know, say hi to my kids for a bit and help put my son down for a nap and maybe grab something to eat, kiss my wife, and then come back and do the front part that got rusted out. Thought I'd give you a good shot of the next half of the project, which is the front. Now you see, this got all rusted out, and this is supposed to be here. So I gotta figure something out with that. But yeah, this is basically supposed to hold, you know, a percentage of the mower's weight, like this one. This one, nice and solid. The rust is starting to get there, but you know, it's only surface rust at this point. You know, I bought some, again, rust stopping paint, and basically just going to do a good coat all over the whole thing with that. But this has just rusted all the way out, so I'm just going to cut all this out, probably, you know, as little as I need to cut out, but got to get all the rust, as much as the rust out as I can. The problem is, my son is sleeping right above us. So I don't know. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a marker, a silver marker, and I'm going to mark where this mounting bracket is on the housing itself. You know, this paint is chipping, but basically it's kind of right there. Just so I don't lose it. And the height, I mean, it's about like there. Okay, so my son was upstairs right above where I was going to do this, so I had to move to the backyard, and you can see why I need a lawnmower working right now. I do have a small one, but I don't want to use it. I want to get this working. So I'm going to get rid of some more of this rust around here with just some sandpaper and prep this to weld again. This, I'm not so sure. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do here. You know, try to get this back onto here. It doesn't really want to move. So we'll see what happens there. But I know I'm going to close this off and provide a new mounting surface for the bracket over here to get mounted to. We're back in the garage now. I cut the pieces that I'm going to need. I started bending them so they can fit. So I'll show you what they're going to look like. Again, this is not supposed to be pretty, it's just supposed to work. You get the idea. So I'm going to weld this on, just so it's nice and structural. Weld this in. I finally got this to sit in the right place. As long as I can weld that real good, I think I'll be okay. It's not going to cover the whole thing. I'll figure out something for the top, but for right now, I just need to get the mounting bracket from this side just to hold steady, and then I'll call it a day after that, just as long as it's good and solid. And I'm going to hit it with a coat of paint so it doesn't rust, though frankly there's so much rust on here in all the nooks and crannies. This thing is not going to live, you know, a lot longer. So basically I'm just trying to get it to the point where I could use it for the next few years and maybe upgrade, you know, after that to a new one of sorts. Alright, it's not pretty, but it's holding steady. I got slag everywhere. I burned through it over there. I basically got welds anywhere I feel like a good weld should be. But it's sturdy, it's not going anywhere. You know, got down to the bare metal for the weld. Got rid of That little piece over there was the huge amount of rust left on it. So just gonna weld it back on in line with the line I made before, about the same height as this one, so kinda right there. And that should do it. After that, I just need to clean it up, put a coat of paint on it everywhere that I can see, put the new pulley brake on that I got, thread the new belt, and then I get to put it back on. Okay, so here's the finished product before paint. Alright, so I got it lined up with my original mark, about the same height as the other one. It looks a little taller because I did put some more weld in the top, but you know, it's not the best job at all. I think this was probably my nicest weld, and it's still not perfect obviously, but it's definitely my nicest weld. This is the finished product. Just hit it with the black protective paint for the rust, basically everywhere, but concentrating in the areas that already had rust. And you know, it's a nice even black coat now, which is nice. And I did an extra coat over here with the new mounting surfaces on the inside and outside. Did the best I could. And my original welds over here, got those nice and covered. So looks like I'm just going to put the new brake arm on, and I have to wait 24 hours for it to really dry before I mount it up. Though I'll probably, depending on if I have more time today, I want to go in and see my kids. So, alright, it is currently the next weekend. The mower has been put together basically and ready to go in. So you see, got the two brakes in, they are spring loaded. The pulley is in place, the new belt is in place, everything's good. So the only thing I have left to do is back out the mower itself, jack it up a little bit, and get it all linked up. Now, it was nice that it came apart easily with a bunch of pull pins, and I tried to keep everything organized so I know where everything goes back. That's the only thing I think that might take me a minute of remembering, going to the manual. There'll probably be one or two that I forget where it goes, but honestly, I can figure it out. So I'm gonna put it in, get it going, get it started up, and do the lawn. So I'll let you know how that goes. Okay, sorry I didn't bring you guys with me on the rest of the excursion, but I put the mower back in and put it all back together, and I found out that the belt that I had was the wrong one, even though I was trying to follow the parts numbers and I got the wrong one. So I had to figure out what the right one was, contact a local shop that had it. They had just one left in that size, and I went and I got it. Came back, put it on, and everything went smooth sailing after that. The battery needs to get replaced soon, so I had to jump the battery. But it started up, and the blades run, and the brakes on the blades now work, and everything is good, and I did the whole backyard, and it looks good. And it ran fine, so success. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Always subscribe for more MotoDad material. Like I said, on my Facebook page, there will be a video coming out where I am problem solving a electrical issue with my Triumph Street Triple. So again, thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time.